The footage of the president unable to recall simple facts must have been brutal to watch.
James Webb.
I don't remember the names. I don't remember the name. I don't remember ever buying something for myself.
Do you recall what years you were married to Ms. Maples?
I mean, I don't remember that. Okay, as good as my memory is, I don't remember that. But I have a good memory.
So you don't remember saying you have one of the best memories?
I don't remember.
I'm sorry, that was the wrong footage. That's the high-functioning candidate from 9 years ago, unable to recall if he has a good memory.
Yeah, it's John Heilemann. We've seen examples over and over again of Donald Trump just losing it on stage here. And you had the whole political world come to a stop. First of all, because for some reason you had the guy, the special counsel, asking, "Hey, what year did your son die?" And supposedly he didn't remember what year his son died. And this was the most damning thing. I said this yesterday, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just older people. We've lived a busy and active life, but nobody's closer to me. Nobody's been closer to me in my lifetime than my mom. If somebody asked me in the middle of a deposition, what year did your mom die? I go, I don't know, 2017, 2018, 2019. I don't know. I can tell you everything about it. I can tell you my final word. But again, that, and same thing with Mika and her dad. So the fact, first of all, that he was asking that question. Secondly, that somehow that's the most damning thing. And the Trump people are now saying the White House is like an old folks home. They need to look inside their own glass house, because inside that glass house, if the Biden administration or the Biden White House and the political team know what they're doing, that's a glass house, the Trump glass house, that's going to come crashing to the ground, because there's clip after clip after clip of this guy not even remembering, the most basic things.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, look, I earlier Willie made some comment about how Donald Trump doesn't know what day it is, and I was like, yo, simmer down over there. Like, a lot of us here have a problem with what day it is, what day of the week, and I can sort of remember maybe that the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, but even that's fading fast for me. The fairest thing to say about this, Joe, and this is, of course, our politics, so nothing will be fair about this, but both of these candidates are over the optimal age at which we would want a president to be. They are. And if we could rule this race by rationality, if we're going to say we're going to have Donald Trump and we're going to have Joe Biden, the two of them we should acknowledge the fact that they are, as the special counsel unfairly said, Biden kind of took a shot at him when he wrote it, but elderly gentlemen, they're elderly gentlemen. They're going to be, one of them is an octogenarian already, the other's going to be an octogenarian shortly, and they're not going to have the best memories. We're joking about it here, but the truth is, you and I don't have the best memories. Willie, right. Willie's memories even worse than ours. Last time I checked, Lemire remembers things most of the time. I won't speak for Michael Steele, but we're all, right. We're all imperfect. And the reality is, if we're going to have battles of videotape between these candidates, kind of pointing out that each one is not has lost a few miles an hour off their fastball from when they were at their best, that's a battle that Joe Biden ultimately is in a reasonable place to win, because they have a lot of those same failings. But what Joe Biden doesn't have is the propensity to lie pathologically about everything in the world, nor does Joe Biden have a propensity to say the kind of things that Donald Trump was saying on Saturday, where he threatens to have Vladimir Putin attack NATO allies and encourages them, et cetera, et cetera. All the democracy-breaking things that Trump did. Right. So if you want to play the game on that battlefield, I would say Biden is in as good a place as any place to take Trump on.
But I'll tell you what else is, you're looking at those two pictures, Michael. Still, another big difference. One of those people actually know foreign policy. One of those people have no idea. One of those people have spent the past 50 years getting to know every leader across the world. The other guy just goes around blowing things up, and people may go, hey, that's cool. No, it's not really cool. We have spent the past 75 years creating the American century. There's a reason why over 75 years, America is stronger now than it's ever been militarily, why our economy is the strongest in the world, on and on. But you talk to both of those guys over an hour, both of those guys may forget a word, may forget, may stumble around. The difference, though, between those two people when it comes to memory, knowledge, and their mental capacity is one of them doesn't know policy. One of them just blows things up and goes out ranting and plays Fat Elvis on stage because that's all he can do. You can't talk policy. Joe Biden, I've done it. You can sit down with him for an hour and you can go around the world and ask tough questions around the world about what's going on. And not only does he keep up, he knows more about it than any senator on Capitol Hill. He knows the ins, the outs. He knows the players. And yeah, he doesn't talk to you like a 40-year-old woman or a 40-year-old man would talk to you. He talks to you like a guy who has been around a very long time and knows this stuff better than anybody else. And a good parallel is Warren Buffett, who has been around a long time, and people still, they hang on every word because, well, they'd like to get rich like Warren Buffett, who's still active and who's still investing. That's the difference between these two. And I will say it, I've said it before, I'll say it again. With Biden, it's presentation. It's and the question is, why was he allowed to talk for 5 hours the day after the Hamas terrorist attack for 5 hours? It didn't serve him well. It didn't serve the White House well, and I'd even say it didn't serve the investigation well.
So there's a number of things to unpack there, Joe. I'll start with our friend John's point about we've passed the optimal point for having someone at this age as president. I don't know. This is the first time we've been here. I mean, we didn't seem to have too much of a problem with Reagan as an older presidential candidate and president. So I think there are a number of variables that go into that. So I think we're now discovering for the first time what that limit may be. So having said that, here's where we are. So can we get over all the noise around how old these two men, because that's not changing between now and November. They're getting older, not younger. So let's live with what we got. Voters had a choice. They had a choice when both of these men stood on the stage at their respective times running for president, and they were chosen by primary voters. So let's get over that. To the point about how these individuals are performing, you are spot on, and you are making the most critical point that the Democrats continue to fail to make about their own candidate. And that is, don't worry about whether or not he remembered something that happened 30 years ago. Listen to what he's telling you today. Listen to how he's talking about and framing the arguments for this hour as we're confronting an explosion in Europe because our Republican Senate and House members want to light the fuse for Putin. Listen to how he's talking about helping the nation recover from COVID, from a downturn in the economy, from a loss of hope in jobs and opportunities. Listen to how he's trying to move the nation off of the authoritarian, anti-democratic behavior of the other party. And so you do have some very clear contrasts.
Hey, Michael.
And as you said, yeah, go ahead, Joe. Yeah.
Look in their bank account. Why don't they do that too? For all these rich people that are bitching about how he's a socialist, and I heard another story about it last night. People around the table, this guy that's got millions and millions of dollars, all he's doing is bitching about, oh, Biden's a socialist. He's surrounded by socialists. And because he's a really wealthy guy, nobody at the dinner table was saying anything to him. And then a woman I know was telling me about how she said, hey, wait a second. How's Biden a socialist? Well, he's just name one policy. Well, name one person in his administration. Well, I just know he is. He must just know he is because he listens to certain shows on Fox News or Fox Business or Newsmax or something like that. That's the thing, Michael, that Willie and I talk about all the time.
Yep.
You want to know how Biden's doing? Look at your 401k. And if you're one of these rich country club types that drive your Ferrari or your Maserati to your country club and bitch about how horrible the economy is, look at your stock app and see how much money you're making every hour, because there's not a crazy lunatic in the White House. There's somebody who actually respects the rule of law. There's actually somebody who respects American democracy. And yes, there's actually somebody that respects American capitalism and what keeps it stable. But these freaks, I'm not exactly sure what they think they're going to get from Donald Trump, but they're going to get none of that. So just look right in front of you right now when trying to figure out, Michael, whether he's up to the job or not. Your 401k suggests he is.
I couldn't agree with you more. And it is that type of evidence that it still puzzles me that people blow past to score the point against Joe Biden on his age. And so the reality to the next part of this was the point you made about putting him in situations that do not help that narrative, that in fact enhance the anti-Biden narrative that Republicans are going to run with. I don't understand still to this moment, the political operation that allows some of the things that have happened with Joe Biden to happen, that do not take advantage of the very things that you're just talking about. You sit the president down when Taylor Swift is the it girl for the Super Bowl, and you have not just a recognized, but a highly recognized, sizable uptick of young voters, particularly women, tuning in to watch this Super Bowl because of her. That's a political opportunity to have a conversation with those voters. So you tell the president, we're going to put you in the car together. We're going to put you in something. We're going to have you looking real cool and sit you down and have a conversation. I don't understand why they're so tone deaf to those moments, Joe. And John,